Okay, so I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but things don't change for you until you decide to change, all right? And that's exactly what my Glow Up Academy is all about. I think a lot of times we get trapped into this mindset that, well, once this happens, then I'll start doing this, or once that happens, I'll start doing that. But it's never going to happen until you start doing the thing anyway. So let me give you some examples so it makes the most sense. Okay, let's say that you're on a weight loss journey, okay? And in your mind, you're like, well, I'll start going to the gym after I lose 25 pounds because I don't want people to see me at my heaviest. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to feel embarrassed. But what if I told you that you're not going to lose those 25 pounds unless you go to the gym, unless you start getting more active, right? A lot of times we're waiting for permission to start something when really we should be starting right now. Let me give you another example. Maybe you're, in your mind, you're like, well, I'll start recording content more consistently once I hit 1,000 followers. But until you start recording content consistently, you'll never hit 1,000 followers, right? Sometimes we're saying things to ourselves like, oh, well, once I make a certain amount of money, then I'll start getting my hair done regularly. Maybe once you start getting your hair done regularly, you'll start making the money, right? We have to step into that new identity today. We can't wait until things just magically happen. You have to embody that today. I fell victim to this trap for so long, thinking that until certain circumstances were where I needed it to be, that's when I could start doing XYZ. But it never got me to that goal until I started embodying what I wanted to be. That's what manifestation is. For those of you guys who are spiritual like myself and you believe in the power of manifestation, which by the way is 1000% real, I have manifested my entire life. But what I'm telling you is, I stopped waiting for certain things to take place before I started doing what I wanted to do. I started doing those things in the moment, and that's what got me to where I wanted to be, okay? Instead of waiting until I became a full-time YouTuber, I would say, well, I'm not going to focus on YouTube until I'm a full-time YouTuber. No, I started telling myself I'm a full-time YouTuber, and then that allowed me to become a full-time YouTuber. Do you understand what I'm saying? We have to start embodying that. When I was before I started my online coaching, I already knew what I wanted my look to look like as an online coach. Like I knew I wanted to start doing sew-ins, and I wanted to start wearing my hair out. I always had my hair in knotless braids when I was creating content for years. I still love knotless braids. It's a great protective style, but I started saying to myself, okay, once I become an online coach, then I'm going to start playing with my look, and I'm going to start doing this, doing that. I'm going to start wearing these type of clothes. I'm going to start doing this. But I stopped waiting for things to be what I needed it to be in order to get stuff done. I started doing it anyways. I started wearing sew-ins even before I was an online coach. I started dressing myself even before I was an online coach. I started doing those things and embodying that before it even took place. I believe that once you start showing up as the identity you want to be, that's when it actually transforms. And something else too, we have to transform who we are anyways in order to get to the goal because who we are today is not equipped to be that person. Okay, so maybe let me use another example. Maybe you're trying to go back to school, right? And you want to get your bachelor's degree. Maybe you're trying to, basically switch careers, you want to make more money. So you realize that in order for you to make more money in your job, you have to get a bachelor's degree. Okay, great. But you're not going to be able to get that bachelor's degree, finish the program, if you don't change things about who you are today. Maybe today you are the person who's always making excuses. Maybe you're the person who's always self-doubting and telling themselves what they can't do. Maybe you're the person that loves to distract themselves on your free time. Maybe you love to watch Netflix movies. Maybe you love to go outside and hang out with friends. You like to go to bars and lounges. But until those things about you change, how are you going to get this bachelor's degree? How are you going to work full time and work hard in your degree program if you don't know how to sit down and lock in? If you don't know how to stop making excuses, if you don't know how to stay consistent, right? It's not going to happen 9 times out of 10. If you stay who you are today, you'll end up dropping out or you'll end up flunking because you're not changing your routine. You're not changing your habits. You're not changing who you are so that you can actually reach that goal. That's with any goal, okay? When I wanted to lose weight, I used to always make excuses. I used to always go off of the mood and not the plan. And in the midst of doing that, I was successfully unsuccessful every single time. I had yo-yo dieted for years. I had tried to lose weight for at least 8+ years, but I wasn't changing who I was in order to get the results that I wanted. So this time around, when I did lose 100 pounds and kept it off, I switched up my entire routine, my entire plan, okay? I started moving like the person who was already health conscious. Even though I was 100 pounds overweight, I started embodying the characteristics of somebody who is extremely health conscious, someone who cares a lot about their body and what they put in it and how they treat it. I started carrying those characteristics with me every single day, even though it wasn't physically showing yet, because that's who I wanted to be. And because that's the identity I chose to embody, I ended up reaching the goal of losing 100 pounds. And now I really am health conscious. I really do care about what I consume. I really do make sure I move my body every single day. Do you see how that goes? So stop waiting for perfect circumstances in order to create that new identity that you want for yourself. Start now, because creating that identity today is what's going to help you really live that identity in the future, okay? So leave a comment down below. Let me know, have you started embodying the new person that you want to be? What is your transformation? What goals are you looking to achieve in the next 6 months, the next year? And what things are you going to start doing today to make sure that you reach those goals in the future? What things are you going to change about yourself? And like I said earlier in this video, that's exactly what Glow Up Academy is. See, a lot of times we want the information, we want to know how to do this, that, and the third, and we believe that we're going to get it done, but you're not. It's not until you become the version of yourself that you must become in order to achieve the goals that you've always had for yourself. And that's exactly what I teach you inside Glow Up Academy. I teach you how to become disciplined, how to become confident, how to stop the self-doubt, how to show up even when you don't feel like it, right? And once you develop those characteristics, that's how you reach your goals. If you want to join Glow Up Academy, I would love to see you in there. The link is down below in my description, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.